All right. You are looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, and you could see that it had this 22% move, 16% correction, peak to trough. And now it's had a little bit of a rally, but this is the lagging index. And the reason why I say that is because it's just squatting here at its 50. I'm going to show you some of the other indexes are doing much better. But on August 22nd, it had this real bad whack day here where it went down 1.67%. And I needed this thing to go back above that 18,017. On Friday, it got back, 258 of that 300 points there. But then Monday, it sold off and it was just weak all last week. If I take a look at the weekly chart, this is a weekly review. Yeah, it was down 164 points last week or 0.92%. And if you're trying to make money in the, mega cap tech stocks, you're probably feeling some pain there because that's not working right now. We're seeing a nice rotation, which is healthy for a sustainable bull market. And where is it going to, Marty? Well, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is making a new high. So that looks quite a bit different from the Nasdaq. I know. It's only 30 stocks and they're handpicked and they rotate them in and out every year. And so, they're going to pick the better stocks, and so eventually NVIDIA is going to come in here and replace Intel, right? But that's why the Dow is doing so much better than, say, something like the Russell, because every time the Russell has a quality stock, it gets removed. But the Russell is still doing better than the Nasdaq. As you can see, it's 3.5% above its, I'm on the weekly here, duh. It's 4% above its 50. So, that looks a lot better than that. All right. The Dow Jones, the Russell and power trends. We got the MDY. Same thing, looking much better, 3.4% above its 50. Above all moving averages, trending higher in a power trend here, looking fantastic. What's the other one that the RSP, because this is the equal weighted. So without, the drag from those big market cap stocks, the RSP is making new highs. So everything's pointing to a real strong bull market except for our Nasdaq, which has just too many tech stocks in it, and those are being sold. So, okay, so we know it's not working. Well, usually I show the, the Mag 7, but I'm just going to show you one this week, and that's Apple. Because Apple still looks like it's actionable. It looks pretty good. It's above its moving averages, trending higher. The rest of these do not. I said I wasn't going to show them, but NVIDIA reported last week and closed, 0.6% below its 50. I don't like that. Sorry. Rules are rules. Got rid of NVIDIA. And just a lot of them are looking terrible. Like I said, I wasn't going to show you these. Yeah, Amazon was up $6 still below its 50, just bouncing off the 200. Looks awful. And Tesla, another one that I wasn't going to show below the 50. And Google. All right, that's enough of this. All right, I'm going to move on because we want to know what's working. People want to know what stock can I buy Monday and it's going to work for me and make me some money. And so I'm going to get to some of the stronger stocks in the market. I'm going to try to anyway, if I get organized here. I'm going to start with the utilities. And, whenever I'm starting with the utilities, it's kind of a different type of market. And I'm going to start with, Wisconsin Energy, the old Wisconsin Energy, which is now just WEC. I'm going to go through these tickers fast because I'm losing my voice here. So write them down if you see something you like. TLN is another one of these utility stocks. These usually pay like really, nice hefty dividends. And if you're getting some appreciation here, well, this one just IPO'd last year. That one looks good. EIX, this is one that I had put away in retirement. I kind of had my choice between Wisconsin Energy, this one, and PG&E. I selected this one because I figured they would gouge those Southern California customers, 5 million customers, mostly in Southern California. But you can see on the weekly chart, this thing's going parabolic. That's Edison International, then PCG. I did mention PG&E, which is Northern California. You can see it broke out of a base last week. So weekly review. So yeah, utilities look very strong. What else looks good, Marty? Well, the financials are looking good. This is Jefferies. And this thing, I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's making new highs. So new highs are good. Like I said, I'm just going to go through these quickly. These are not stocks that I own. These are not stocks that are really actionable. They're kind of extended. I'm just showing some strength here. PayPal even broke out of this stage one base here recently. Yeah, that looks good. If you're a PayPal fan, which I'm not, FOUR. This is kind of a, you know, credit card payment type thing. This one is actionable. You can see this big, you know, cup with handle pattern. That looks pretty good. So that'll be on my ready list again this week. I had it last week. It was up 2.4%, but I think it has a bigger move ahead for it. And then the last one is VIRT, which I had on my ready list last week. Pull back to its 10. You can see it's consistently getting support here at the 10, that green line. And so it's just surfing its moving average. Moving average is trending higher rapidly. As long as it stays above that 10, then you're making money. So very strong stock. Also, the insurance stocks, not something that I'm really thrilled about. Got a love-hate relationship with these, but just acknowledging strength here. THG, you can see it broke out of this, you know, stage one base. And you can see the earnings line heading higher. And that one looks fantastic. TRUP is the dog and cat insurance stock going parabolic, just pulled back to its 10 on Friday. Bro, one of my favorite ticker symbols, BRO. And this one broke out a long time ago. Now it's just surfing its 10. You can see that just a surfer. It's a Kelly Slater stock. HRTG. This is one that I really like, kind of like it's a weekly review. So I'll go to the weekly. It's like a, you know, high tide flag pattern. This thing went from what, $6 up to 1655 last week. Broke out here of this base, and now it's just moving. I think Friday was an inside day. That looks really good, allowing the moving averages to catch up. Heritage Insurance, HRTG. HIG is another one. Hartford, just nothing to say here. I mean, just making new highs, trending with the moving averages. Every time they pull back, they find support. So ride that trend until it bends at the end, right? That's the whole deal. Progressive. We had this one on our ready list about 212, 209 a few weeks back, and it's just taken off like the rest of these insurance stocks, just going parabolic. I could sit here and do these, you know, for a while, and I'm not going to. I'm going to stop there and move on to the steel stocks because I don't talk about this one enough. Carpenter broke out of a base, ripped higher, consolidated in a base. Now it's ripped higher and just consolidating here along with its 10. Pull back on that wacky August 5th day and still moving higher. So Carpenter looks good. And then ATI is another one of these steel specialty alloys, the number one group here. So top stocks in the top group, pull back to its 21 on Friday. It looks like it sold off every day last week. How about that? So ATI still a very strong stock. Let me see. Oh, yeah. The hospital stocks. For some reason, these things are just going ballistic. I don't know. Maybe the market knows something. The hospitals. I hope not. But anyway, this is Tenet Healthcare making new highs, surfing the moving averages once again. Just there's nothing to say here, but just as long as you hold it and it's above the moving averages and the moving averages are going higher, you're making money. There's nothing to do here, but just hold. Unless you want to add to it, you know, add on pullbacks. Now this is HCA Healthcare, same thing. Similar profile. UHS, Universal Health. I mean, these are extended, you know, I'm not pointing these out like we're going to go out and buy them Monday morning or Tuesday morning, but I'm just showing you strength there in the hospitals top 10 group. Definitely strong. ARDT. Yeah, this one was actionable last week as it broke out of this IPO base. You can see it just IPO'd in July. So now breaking the new high. So that looks pretty good to me, up 14.8% last week. So boy, howdy, that's a nice move, fella. Very nice for that group. The software group is hit and miss. There's some ones that are really struggling and there's others that are doing well. This is Q2 Holdings, QTWO. You know, it trades 580,000 shares at $74. So it meets the requirement. You can see this, breaks out of a base, runs for a long time, consolidates in a base, and now it's taken off again. Pull back to the 50. The first time after it broke out of a base on that August 5 day, that Monday, where the world was coming to an end, and now it's just trending along with its 10 EMA. So that one looks good. That's QTWO. Somebody had asked me to take a look at that, and it certainly looks pretty good. Zeta, Catherine Zeta Jones. This one broke out of a base, just trending higher. And every time it pulls back, there's an opportunity here. Pulls back to its moving average, you could buy, and then it just rips higher, higher lows, higher highs. That's a nice channel, a nice trend, fantastic stock. The reason why? Well, look at the earnings line. I mean, they're delivering strong earnings quarter after quarter. Sales growth, you can see it down here. It looks like they're doing really well. Management's executing a 5.8 billion market cap stock. So definitely one to watch if you don't own it. All right, GoDaddy. Obviously, this one has just been on a tear. Nothing to say there. It's just hold. And every time it pulls back to the 10, it gets support. So as long as that trend is intact, you ride that trend until it bends at the end. Now, this is Cellbrite, another one that we had on our ready list a few weeks back. It broke out. Now it's extended. Maybe when it comes back to its 10, it'll provide an opportunity, but that one is extended. AAPL, this one I did have on the ready list last week at like 87, I think. It ran up pretty nicely, but still actionable there at that old 91 buy point. And the last one is ServiceNow, which, you can see it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that it's just moving out of this consolidation pattern. Real big stock, 176 billion market cap, earnings line heading, in the direction that we like, and just pushing away from its base. ServiceNow, another software name that looks good. Retail's real hit and miss, mostly miss. But if you catch something like a SharkNinja, this one broke out of a base and formed a shell. So I had it on the ready list last week. It was one of our winners. It pulled back to its 10, or actually just allowed the 10 to catch up. And then it broke out of this little shelf type pattern, or the Darvis box, if you will. So it's entering a new box area at the 95, 96 level. That one looks fantastic. On Holdings, ONON, they reported a couple weeks ago, and the management told the investors that it would be expecting 30% sales growth. So Wall Street likes that. And you could see it's just, broke out of this stage 1 base, now formed this little stage 2, and now it's pushing out of that. It looks like it wants to challenge these old highs here from the early offering there, 55. That would not surprise me over time, if they keep delivering these, strong sales and earnings growth. So anyway, that looks good. Another one in the retail space is Walmart. I mean, when Walmart's doing stuff like that, you can't be bearish. Making new highs. This is one of the, 620 billion market cap, one of the largest retails in the United States. And the CEO is just ebullient on the conference call about the consumer and no recession and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it looks good. Also, Costco looks good. Must be those $1.50 hot dogs. This is going to go on my ready list this week. Why? Because I like this little pinching pattern here, a flag, if you will. Came straight up off the bottom. Now it's flagged a little bit. 898. I bet you it's going to power through that 900 level. Maybe that 900 level will provide some resistance, but we'll see. I kind of like Costco. All right, I can't have a weekly review without talking about drugs. There you can see Costco, the base runs up, forms another base. Lilly, which is the one drug stock that I am holding. You can see it sold off 3 weeks, pulled back to its moving average, and now trending higher the last 3 weeks. And this is what it looks like on a daily chart. And you could just say this is kind of like the cup with a little handle here as it pulls back to the 10. Maybe it'll handle out some more, but I don't think there's any doubt this thing's going higher, up to 1,000 at least, $1 trillion market cap. Just give it a couple more quarters. Look at the growth profile here. Accelerating sales growth, accelerating earnings growth. They have patents on their weight loss drug forever and a day. I think it's, I don't know, I want to say 2039, might not be that long, but still at 2034, 2035, I'd have to research that. It's a long time if they're going to dominate that space, and that's a big space. ADMA, this is one that just, broke out, gap higher, pulled back to its 10 last week. See what that looks like on the weekly. Yeah, that looks like a lot of strength there. Next is your earnings line heading due north. That's ADMA. Halo is another one that continues to make new highs. Earnings line heading north. You can see last week it made a new high at 65.53, pulled back a little bit. Yeah, that still looks fantastic. Allow the moving averages to catch up there. AstraZeneca, we had this one on the Reddit. I'm really surprised how this one moved. We had it back here, and it is just going parabolic, trading tight. It's not a wild stock, just grinding higher with its moving averages. So AstraZeneca looks good, and also ABBV, another one that just broke out of this cup with handle, now trending higher. Pull back to the 10 last week, but that looks fantastic. Classic. A long consolidation and now moving higher. So AbbVie looks good. That's it for the drugs. I've got to get to the the air conditioning, heating. Their business is hot and cold, but the stocks are super hot. This is one that I had on my ready list last week. I'll probably take it off, even though it's still actionable here. You could see on Friday it made a new high. This thing looks like it's just getting ready to bust out of that base. So that's Comfort Systems, FIX. I remember I was fooling around with a friend a couple of years ago. It was like this summer, what was it, 22? This is the bear market. And I'm going, hey, this looks pretty good. This is back when it was like, yeah, $100 something. And now it's 353. This is unbelievable how these things have moved. Mod, this is one that I had on my ready list a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of broken out, obviously, challenging those old highs at 123. And the other one is Train, which makes, high-end residential, air conditioning, heating units and controls. This one, the group is what, top 40, not bad. Just pushing away from this base. Looks like it's in its own power trend here after the pullback on, guess what day? August 5. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. My voice is a little scratchy. I'm gonna try to healthy up this weekend. I just ask you to enjoy your 3-day Labor Day weekend. And in honor of the great Steve Jobs, I have one more thing, just one area that I want to show that I did buy into last week. This is AVAV, the Aerospace and Defense Group, top 20 group. This one blasted off on news of a military contract on Wednesday. Nice 9% move with volume, and just had an inside day. Thursday, just quiet. Looks pretty good. GE is another one. Had on the ready list, is starting to push away from its base here, though. Just trading with the moving average, right? This is a slow grinder stock. This is not NVDA or SMCI, but it's grinding higher with its moving averages, and that's what you want to see if you're a longer term investor. Just take me higher. CW, Curtis Wright, another aerospace and defense name, just making new highs. This thing looks like it wants to form a shelf after that, breakout from the 280 level. Now it's at 315. Maybe it'll shelf out for a couple weeks. We'll have to watch Curtis Wright. Lockheed Martin, LMT. What can you say? I mean, new highs, blasted out of this base from 475 up to 564. That's a nice move. And now, once again, forming this shelf. So if you're one of these like Darvis box traders, right, you wait for it takes out that shelf, and then that's when you get in, right? Because it's going to higher ground. As Stevie Wonder would sing, right? NOC, Northrop Grumman. What can you say? New highs, right? I mean, even Even a first grader knows, hey, this thing's going higher. Look at that. Let me see. And the last one is How I Met Your Mother. HWM, Howmet Aerospace, broke out of the base, pulled back. Now it's grinding with its 10 EMA. Well, we always want the NVIDIAs of the world and the SMCIs and all those to go up, and Dell, but that's not happening here. So you get the market that you get. You don't get the one that you want. As Mick Jagger is saying, can't always get what you want. So you just got to make the adjustment. This is a healthy rotation into these groups that I just showed you: the utilities, finance, insurance, some retail, some software, drugs, HVAC. So either you make the change or you get stuck with, something like Microsoft. And if you're a long-term holder, this is fine. It's just consolidating. It's just, while the market's making new highs, you're not. So it just depends what type of investor you are. I like Microsoft, but it's out of favor right now. So I would rather get into something that's moving, that institutions are buying. And September 3 is Tuesday. It's the start of a new month as we get back from Labor Day vacation on Tuesday. It could all change. And we can see a rotation back into these mega cap tech stocks. And maybe we will. Just take it one day at a time, stay flexible, stay open-minded, and above all, never give up. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching.